The championship game, it's kind of been a whirlwind tour with recruiting and all the different things going on with the world of college football. And I kind of had this date circled for a long time to finally get here because basically, finals are behind us. I thought the kids, we had a team meeting before we went out and took the field. Obviously, the world of college football took Paul Chryst to Pittsburgh, so that's another change. And I thought it was really good the way our guys took that meeting, kind of locked in, had our best practice so far of the month of December out there today, and give them a couple days here to let them go back and relax. Usually we've taken a day, but this is unique to get them 2 days, and I think they'll come back and be a recharge group on Monday. I'm very excited about where they're at. Injury standpoint, Pete got cleared from a medical standpoint because of some of the stuff that they did to him out there. We actually sat him out today, but he will be back with us and practice on us the first time we're out there in Pasadena on Tuesday. And get him involved basically in the game plan to see where he's at. Otherwise, everybody else will be 100%.
If he can show you what he can do, as he go back in the starting lineup, if he can do it physically.
Yeah, I think we'll probably in those first 2 days, because we got an extended work week down there, start him off with the twos, see where he's at with the two center and kind of go from there, understand exactly where he's at.
Did Russell text Paul apparently when Paul was out in Pittsburgh and say, I'm going to set up a meeting?
Somebody else said something to me about that. It wouldn't surprise me at all with Russell. I didn't have a chance to get with Russell, so I don't know if Russell thought he was going to be gone an extended time. I knew Paul was going to be back the same day. He just flew out Thursday morning, flew back Thursday night.
What are some of your emotions with Paul? Obviously, happy, sad that he gets to go, but kind of sad he's leaving.
Unfortunately, I'm getting kind of used to this. It's been a while for Paul. Probably come a little bit later than most people probably thought, but I'm very excited for him. This year, reached out as hard as any other year to different opportunities, even before this one. I think it's a great opportunity for him, just the situation that he's following there. Obviously, Paul's kind of the exact opposite of what they just kind of had there, I think, so it gives him a little bit of stability. I'm very excited for him and his family, too. It's going to be pretty unique.
How do you keep it from being a distraction? Not just Paul even, but the rest of your staff unsettled if anyone goes with them?
I think that answer will be sooner than later. I'm definitely, I had conversations with him yesterday. Paul's been running, so there'll be some things moving forward. But I don't think Dave's situation was a distraction last year. I don't see this one being. I thought Paul said some good things today to the group that was, I think meant a lot to them, and the kids reacted very, very favorably. So I don't see that. If anything, it might be a bonus because they know it's the last time that they'll be with him.
Can you share exactly what some of the things?
You know what? Just as you guys know, Paul gave all the credit to the room. I thought one line that really stood out to me was, he said, I didn't get into coaching to become a head coach. I got into coaching to coach players like you, and that's what we all do. And I think our players honestly respect Paul a lot. It was good because not only was the whole room, it was offense, defense, all the specialists, and I think very, very meaningful.
Was it emotional?
Yeah, I think it was. Paul's a pretty stoic guy, but I think this is an overwhelming week. I can't, my situation was so different. I kind of knew it for so long that I was going to be that guy. I think to actually get that call the day that he accepted the job, I was on another call, and actually Coach Alvarez was standing in Coach Chryst' office, I believe, when the call came through, and then I got off the phone. I had to call Alvy about something else, and in the matter of 3 minutes, he'd gotten the job, and it was just kind of funny that it happened so fast.
You mentioned things would happen sooner than later, so you anticipate before the bowl you'll have an idea of who might be going?
Yeah, absolutely. Bottom line, this is my program and what I got to do and what I have to do, and it really does. There's certain things within the university structure, like I have to post a job. You guys know what I'm talking about, in X number of days before we can get it done. There's a really weird recruiting calendar this year in January, so if I can name someone before some of those recruiting dates where I can set these people into their homes. I was just doing some work last night preliminary. This will be whoever I hire as a quarterback coach here at the university. This will be my 17th hire of my 9 assistants in the 6 years I've been here. So unfortunately, I've had to do it a lot, but they've all left for better situations.
How do you keep from hard feelings developing from any of this? Is that concern at all?
I think that I totally get the question. I just don't see that culture here. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it won't happen. I knew Paul would want to talk to certain guys. One of the things I said to Paul, who did you want to talk to? And he rattled them off, and I made sure I had conversations with him. But I think he's still getting a lay of the land as well for himself out there.
Can you talk about your reaction? I mean, you said even before he was hired that you'd be cool with him, just like you said with Dave, coming and doing the bowl, but can you talk about the reaction of having him coach this last game and just all that, just the impact that he's had on the program?
Oh, he's had a tremendous impact. Yeah, I mean, Paul's a good football coach. He's a guy that believes in his program. Obviously, there's a lot of family ties here to the University of Wisconsin, not only himself, but all of his, his brothers, his sisters, his mother, his father. So those things are special that you're never going to be able to replace those type of things. But, life is good. We'll make some decisions. We're going to concentrate on the next, 9 to 10 days to get us to January 2nd. And then when that happens, we'll just kind of move forward.
You have a history, obviously, of hiring from within. What do you think that does for the stability of your program?
I tell you what, in the last 48 hours, it's made a huge statement to me. I think I said this a little bit last year, but the phone calls I've received and the people that have reached out that have interest in a job, I think speaks volumes. I've let it be known. I spoke at the National Coaches Convention last year in front of 12,000 people and said, my last 4 hires came from within, and I think that says a lot about assistant coaches that want to come and try to earn their stripes.
A lot of people would go for a big name splash, an outside coordinator, and then you're changing systems. Is that hard to do in the long run, do you think?
I think my track record. I'm not about a splash. It was kind of interesting. There was a visitor at practice today, and he's like, how do you hire and interview people that you know? And I really haven't hired anybody I do know. I've kind of stuck with that. I did that with my first staff. I'd rather have people that aren't common to me that I just get a good feeling about and bring them in and let them do their deal.
I think after Barry left, he talked about the fact that sometimes change can be good.
Absolutely.
The staff might have at points gotten stale. Is this too much change for you?
No.
Given the numbers you quoted on that?
Well, that's 9 on my first hire, so it's been 8 since then. 7 on offense and 10 on defense. So I think it's kind of been nice. Last year was I didn't expect Greg at the end. I thought Seth might get the NFL one. Greg was obviously a late transition, but I knew Paul was going to get a job sooner or later, and I knew when Paul got a job that he'd be interested in several of my guys because they've worked together so well for so long. So, no, I really this is an area of the business that I really enjoy. I really embrace, reaching out to new people, having people contact me, getting to know them. I'm very thorough, very detailed in the process. Probably err on the long side of things more often than not. And I think every time I go through it, I get better at it. And obviously, the proof is in the pudding.
Is it 2 or 3 that he's reached out to? Can you say, Paul, on your current staff?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give numbers, but it's multiple.
Did you say in your radio show it would definitely be an in-house move?
For me? Yeah, I would like absolutely for it to be an in-house deal. But there's nobody here in our program that can coach quarterbacks. I'll say that. So it's somebody's going to have to come in and do that from this standpoint.
And that's an important job, is it not?
Huge. Yeah, I mean the quarterback is the guy that makes everything go on offense. So I think that's an important key element.
For a position like that, how many? I mean, you've got your list of potential. If we need to hire, how many would be on a list like that for a quarterbacks coach?
Well, again, it's probably like 2 or 3 different lists. I got guys that are just quarterback guys. I got guys that are coordinator type position guys. I got guys that maybe could come in and not have to necessarily be calling plays, but have coordinated in the past. There's a wide mix. Again, a lot of it is really what happens here in the next couple days with just the coaching staff. Our players aren't going to be involved in any of that stuff.
Rumor has it that Brooks Bollinger may be one of those guys. I don't know if you could, comment on
I just
that.
talked to Brooksy last week.
What could he bring to this program?
Well, he's bringing in March is hopefully his speech because he's speaking at our coaches clinic. That's what I was talking to him about. I've had a huge amount of respect for Brooks ever since I've come here, and Coach Alvarez obviously thinks the world of him. He has a pretty good start to his coaching career and made it all the way to the state championship game. So I mean, he's a guy that, because of his dad's background and everything, he'd be a guy that you'd think would naturally have that transition. I know a couple years back when I first took over, he actually kind of reached out about the possibility of being a GA, getting into that role. So,
can you comment on Dane Chryst at all? I don't know if you're able to, his decision making.
I can't talk about recruiting.
Yeah, Camille Jean. A lot hasn't been made.
He's done a nice job.
Yeah, a lot of third down stops too, because he's out there on third downs. But he's seen some tackles on, short of first downs. What have you thought of he done?
I go back to the film. When I watched PJ on film, he was probably the most aggressive and consistent tackler I've really seen on film of a high school kid at that age. He's done a nice job in here and has really done his job quietly. A lot of times DBs get known when they break, missed tackles or bust assignments, but he's very conscientious, very detailed. Just like today, I was watching him during a special teams period, and he wanted to put a faster guy in to go against. He's trying to get that to make himself better. So he just thinks the right way, and I think he'll have a nice little career.